A reminder to myself, because I'm struggling to open my mouth and get started on this video. Overthinking does not equal progress. Or should I say, overthinking equals procrastination. If you just start, then you can get somewhere. And if you just keep overthinking, it just keeps sounding harder and harder to just start. As I was waiting for a phone call yesterday, I decided to just set up my camera, start talking, start filming, thinking, man, I just wish I knew the right thing to say. Well, it made me jump when my phone finally rang because I wasn't expecting it anymore because I was so into what I was doing. And guess what my sister told me when I asked her for advice on my YouTube channel? She said a lot of things, actually. Both of us said a lot of things. We talked about a lot. It helped me feel better, for sure. And she mentioned something that really got me thinking. I think each of us in our own lives, since we're so used to what we do, we tend to, at least I do, I've found that I do for sure, we tend to just like shrug things off. Like, oh, that's no big deal. Yeah, I have to shovel every day, so what? I get up at 5 a.m. I drove to Texas from Michigan on my own with 2 little kids. I'm not going to go on and on. I think part of my problem of not wanting to share those things as well is because it feels a little bit braggy, and I don't like to feel braggy. And anyways, I think it's also partially the stoic Finn in me. The way I was raised, the way I grew up, the culture that I grew up in, the community that I grew up in. We are a group of Finlanders, like displaced Finlanders, I would say. 3 generations ago, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents came over to the US from Finland. And I think Finlanders, at least our group of Finlanders, we are known to be very stoic. And so we call ourselves Stoic Finns. And funny story, I was sitting on a meeting at work the other day, and it's like a Zoom meeting, right? You can see all of the faces, many faces on a Zoom meeting. And sometimes the person speaking cracks a joke and you see no reaction from anybody. We are yes, most of the people that I work with are also Stoic Finns. So it struck me a lot in that moment how funny it is, how different we are, how interesting. It's just like, I personally would classify myself as a much more bubbly, like expressive Finn, but still I see myself compared to other people from outside of the community or from other cultures, and I definitely have a lot of Stoic Finn in me still, although I am much lesser, much less extreme Stoic Finn compared to other people around me. So my sister, as I was talking to her, struggling through my struggles, wondering, what am I missing? She said to me, have you ever heard of Stoicism? That might be something to look into. And so what I learned looking up Stoicism is that Stoic with a capital S and Stoic with a lowercase s are 2 different things. Our culture is Stoic Finn. It's very like flat, unemotional, straight-faced, non-expressive. And Stoicism, okay, I'm gonna post this video below. It's the Daily Stoic on YouTube. 3-minute Stoicism explained in 3 minutes, okay? So it's actually pretty crazy how much what I am dealing with when I'm going through the things that I believe and strive for, as I am a Stoic Finn, also are the things that Stoicism are about. So I'm like the Stoicism Finn. So one of the things it says, we determine what's up to us and what's not up to us. And that is such a huge thing that I've been working on, is like, if I can't control it, if I can't do anything about it, I just try not to let it bother me, let it worry me, focus on it, worry about it. Like, I am just like, okay, on to the next thing. We don't control what happens to us, but we control how we respond to what is happening. And I have also been realizing, and I truly believe that everything that goes on in our life, every experience that we have, every person that comes into our life is teaching us something, is there for something. We can learn something from everybody, and we need to learn lessons. And so we get the right people brought into our lives and the right situations and the right everything to always learn the lessons that we need to learn. And so there's 4 like pillars, I guess, of stoicism, and that's courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. And I would kind of say these slightly differently. Courage, for me, that's like, I don't necessarily feel like I'm a super brave or super courageous person, but I do always try to do things that I'm scared of doing. And so in that way, potentially, it's like a bit of, I mean, it takes courage, I guess, to do things that you're afraid of doing. I'm not super familiar with the word temperance, but he says it means like self-discipline and endurance. And I think that in our culture, we would call sisu, or I guess sisu also means something similar to like grit. And so you just, I don't know, you just grin and bear it. You just do things, whether you feel like you can or not, you just push through, you just like do the hard things. Oh, he also says for temperance is like the right amount of stuff and abstaining from things that don't matter, and like, yeah, doing the right amount of each thing. And so, yeah, I'm very like, I don't like to have too much caffeine. I'm not into like any drugs or alcohol or anything like that. I try to balance my life. These are all habits and like works in progress. It's not like I'm perfect. It's very hard sometimes to do certain things, but yeah, very like do things in moderation is definitely a theme in my life. Justice, good conduct, obviously like doing the right thing. I'm very, I posted a video recently about not being a rule follower anymore, and like 90% or more, I'm still a rule follower, like to my core. Like I can't stand breaking rules and not following rules. When I know there's a rule, I'm like, I'm not gonna just blatantly break a rule. But yeah, there are certain like rules or beliefs around me of like other people's things that I'm like not following as much as I used to. And then wisdom is just like trying to learn and be educated. And so yeah, I'm a very huge growth mindset person. Love learning, love growing, love trying to see how I can learn and grow from everything that happens and take lessons from things. Yeah, totally. I really like this quote. It says, "Waste no more time talking about what a good man is like, be one." Oh my gosh, if this is not a huge theme in my life right now. Just, I was talking to my sister about the morning routine video that I did, the 5 a.m. morning routine. So many people out there are doing like 2 hours of morning routine, working out and getting prepared for the day and journaling and getting fresh air and all these things. And they're like, oh, I have such a productive day if I start at 5 a.m. and do all these things for 2 hours, and then I start my day at 7. And I'm over here like, I get up at 5 and I start work at 5:05 and I work for 2 hours. And by 7 a.m., I've already gotten a lot done. So it is just kind of a funny, like, okay, getting up at 5 a.m. is so hard. I don't want to do it the majority of the time. I don't look forward to doing it. I'm not excited about doing it. It is very hard. It is very, very, really, really very hard. Okay, but it is a must for me right now. It is the only way. And so I do it. And I am glad that I do it. And yeah, it's just funny to like, people talk about doing and like get prepared for doing. And I'm just like, I just gotta do it right now. I'm not talking about doing it. I'm just doing it. So I highly recommend checking out that video. It is great. Like there was so many good nuggets in like 3 minutes that he talked. And he also offers a email list that you can sign up for if you're interested in like getting more tidbits into your email about stoicism. Yeah, that was super interesting for me to realize that I have heard of stoicism. I just never really looked into it. I am a stoic Finn who is definitely living my life very much in a stoicism manner. How do you say that? I am practicing stoicism without even having realized what stoicism means. So I'm your stoic Finn. Stoic not in the form of super, I mean, partly yes, partly, but more so the philosophy of stoicism and not so much like the stoic flatline type of personality. Ugh. You know what I'm overthinking so much is like the start of a video has to have a hook. The story in a video has to be super well told and engaging. And the end of a video has to be a nice little bow on it. But you know what? This is my reminder. This is the practice. This is why I'm doing a daily video, so I can get better each day. I am looking forward to seeing what's coming. I'm looking forward to looking back on how far I've come. I've already learned a lot. I have a lot more to learn. It doesn't matter if a video is not perfect because I'm learning and growing and I'm moving on to the next thing. So stop overthinking, start going and learn and move on. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.